This message is for Canadians and Mexicans from a Democrat in the United States of America. We are so sorry. We are so sorry that this is being inflicted upon you. Please do not hate us. There are 71 million of us that did not choose this and want nothing to do with this man, want nothing to do with invading your countries or making you a state. Please do not hate us all.
Dear citizens of Canada, most everybody in the United States is with you. If you don't want to buy our products, don't do it. Buy Canadian only. We'll be fine. Trust me, we'll be fine. We don't agree with Supreme Leader Trump. We don't agree with what he's doing. So you boycott us, and I'm with you, okay? Most of us are with you. If, for whatever reason, the U.S. invaded Canada, which won't happen, but if it did, I would side with Canada. I would fight with Canada, okay? I canceled my trip in the United States this summer, my summer vacation to the Jersey Shore, because I live near the Jersey Shore. I canceled my Jersey Shore vacation because I'm taking a vacation to Canada this summer and spending my money in Canada as a U.S. citizen. So please welcome me and my family with open arms. We are with Canada, okay? We are on your side. We will fight with you. And if you need to boycott the U.S. products, you do that. Do that. Show Trump he's wrong.
This kind of threat that's coming at us, at first, I think people thought it was sort of funny or interesting, or he's just trying to get our backs up. But we're taking it real seriously right now. We see this as an existential threat. And let's be clear, it's not just, a threat to our leadership, right? This is a threat to working people in our country who rely on trade, who rely on those relationships. And what I have to say to Donald Trump is, you're going to come after us. We're going to fight you like hell.
It's absolutely crazy. Canada is our dear friend, big ally to the United States, and this president continues to try to pick on our ally who's right next to us, who have stood with us all through this time with a ridiculous attempt to put a tariff that has not been in place in the manner of which he's trying to do it since the 1930s. So I don't agree with it. I don't think that it should happen. We'll continue to make sure that we're standing up against these illegal tariffs that he's trying to place on Canada. I just hope our friends in Canada understand that this is not the American people that are trying to do this nonsensical tariff, but we're going to stand with them and our ally and fight the president.
I just have to say, on behalf of millions of us sane Americans, we are so sorry to the whole world about what's going on, especially to Canada. I live in California, and there is a huge push to secede from the rest of the United States. California is done. We would love to be part of Canada. We don't want Canada to be here. You don't want to be here, but we would love to be Canadian at this point. We're just so sorry. We don't know what's going on. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody is stopping him. The effing Supreme Court, they gave him immunity. Remember, everybody should be calling the Supreme Court justices and saying, how dare you? This is your fault. You gave him immunity. And I might call my reps. Everybody's calling their reps who have indivisible. We're protesting, but the news isn't showing it. We're just sorry. Canada, you stay strong. We're sorry.
Wow, it's good to see many Americans coming out to support Canada after Trump tries to make an enemy, and many Canadians are responding with kindness and saying, we got no problem with Americans, we only have problem with the decisions coming out from Washington. So let's get to see more. Please like and hype the video and let me know your thoughts in the comments, alright? Let's get into it.
As Canadians, we're not happy with what's going on with the thing with your leader. It has nothing to do with the American people. We do not hate the American people. I had a friend of mine on Facebook who had posted that she was worried about, how we're feeling, and she said, we had nothing to do with it. We're not upset with American people. I love Americans. I think they're fantastic.
Is it wrong for me to say I think it's very Canadian that you want to make sure that our feelings are okay?
Well, yeah, it's one guy doesn't make the whole, or one bad apple doesn't make the whole bunch useless. Or you don't throw the whole thing away.
That the fight is between politicians, not people.
Yeah, and the people are going to feel it. And our countries have worked so well together. Why stop now? And this is the best company I've ever worked for. I really like it here. I don't want to see this place closed. It's nice. You know.
Freddie, you're nice.
Oh, thank you very much.
This is how Donald Trump treats our friends, allies, and people who help the United States. Just 4 days ago, we learned that a Canadian man was identified as a helicopter pilot who was killed while fighting a wildfire in Colorado. He's Canadian, and he died for the United States of America fighting these fires. But today, Donald Trump threatened to raise tariffs on Canada over the wildfires that they are having and currently suffering from. So Donald Trump is perfectly happy to accept help from Canada in our time of need, but when it's time for us to step up for them and help them out, Donald Trump threatens to make their lives harder. It really is gross. Shout out to everybody in Canada, especially those suffering from these devastating fires right now. I guarantee you that when Donald Trump is out of office and a Democrat is in there, we will be good friends again and good allies again. This is horrific.
The guy who runs British Columbia said something interesting today, where he said that if you're fighting with Canada, you probably don't have many friends. He's referring to the fact that Donald Trump has picked a fight with Canada again, has started a trade war once again, and that if you are in a conflict with Canada, which, look, Canada's not a saint, but on the world stage, it's really not hard to get along with Canada. So if you are not getting along with Canada, chances are you're hardly getting along with anyone else. And that would seem totally true. America has never been more isolated, more friendless, and more lonely than it is now under Donald Trump.
Some perspective for Americans who are going after Canada again. Look, Canada was disrespected by an ally, and they simply responded. It's well within their right to push back, all right? And just because they don't want to sell U.S. products anymore, doesn't mean you can get cranky about it.
The Supreme Court's already ruled that tariffs are illegal, but that doesn't matter to Trump because he just enacted another 50% tariff on a lot of Canadian goods. Why? Because he's mad about wildfire smoke. But he doesn't actually care about you or me. He just wants money. Because if he cared about us, he wouldn't have paid billions of dollars to cancel green energy contracts so his oil buddies could get more money.
To my American followers, in Canada, we are talking a lot about how it turns out Trump is very serious about his desire to annex Canada. And I know that Americans aren't really hearing much about this because it is not something that Americans are taking seriously. But Canadians are. And Canadians feel like Americans don't care. They feel very upset. They're very hurt, of course, because we're close allies, we're neighbors. And when the government says these things and they don't see Americans speaking against it, it hurts them. Now I know Americans, y'all got a lot going on. Canada is able to kind of focus on this annexing threat as a huge crisis for them, because it is. But you've got 1,000 different crises going on. That being said, these are your neighbors, your allies, and a lot of you are looking to them for a way to get out. So if you have a platform, if you have a following, speak about this and speak about how you're standing with Canadians and not against them, and how this is doing so much damage to not only Americans as
if I have one message
global brand,
to our president,
but to Americans
it's
individually,
lay off
as people
the ridiculous rhetoric about Canada being the 51st state.
Who are looking
as an American, I'm ashamed
as a way to possibly
of the arrogance and disregard that we've shown one of our historically oldest, strongest, and most loyal allies. These international tournaments for Canada mean something different now. As an American, I'd like to address the 51st state discourse, which I find unsettling and frankly insulting. Canada is a strong, independent nation that's deep-rooted in decency, really. And it's a place that values high ethics and respect, unlike the polarized, disrespectful, and often now hate-fueled climate that's in the U.S.
Perfectly said. Governments may disagree, leaders may change, political tension may rise, but relationship between ordinary Americans and Canadians is much deeper than politics, because for decades, the US and Canada have been more than neighbors, They have been close friends, trusted allies, and good partners who share one of the longest peaceful borders. Families live on both sides. Millions of people, they cross the border every year for work, for business, for education, for vacations, and to visit loved ones. And that kind of relationship cannot just be erased overnight. And that's why many Americans have decided to speak publicly and to apologize to Canadians. They don't want Canadians to believe that every American supports tariffs or the idea of annexing Canada. Canada has built a reputation around the world for being welcoming, peaceful, and respectful to other nations. It is a country that values diplomacy and cooperation. So when they're being harassed with tariffs and when they hear talks about making Canada the 51st state, many Canadians, they saw these remarks as an insult to their sovereignty and their democracy. Canada is not part of the USA. It is an independent nation with its own government, its own history, and its own identity. They are so proud of their independence, and they expect to be respected by allies just as they respect the independence of other allies. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.